Well, here's the interview I've been talking about throughout the morning. It's just some background for you. Online photo sharing service Instagram seems to have angered millions of users this week when it introduced new privacy policies. The site is owned by social networking giant Facebook. Instagram reportedly has the right to sell users' pictures for advertising. Here's the catch: without compensation. The policies are set to come into effect on the 16th of January. Well, let's find out a little bit more about this. And a huge welcome to Paul Jacobson, web and digital media lawyer, who's very kindly coming to talk to us. Paul, morning to you. Morning. Have I got this correct, that Instagram can basically use any photo that I take however they want? Is that the crux of this?
No, not really. It's a misinterpretation of the new terms of use. What they really provide for is that Instagram can use users' personal information, or originally some of their content, in conjunction with advertising on the service.
And this is something that we've all agreed to. I know that you're on social media, I'm on social media. That little terms and conditions page, as we always just say, I agree, it's all in there, isn't it? But now it's changed somewhat. What are they trying to change?
Well, this is the change. The current terms basically allow them to present ads around your content like we're accustomed to. The change that they've proposed, which comes into effect on the 16th, allows them to use some of our information as users and some of our content, although they backpedaled a little bit in the last day or so. Effectively, what they're trying to do is they want to then follow a Facebook model and take that information and that content and associate it with a brand or with a product, effectively making it look like an endorsement.
It's what Facebook does now. They've gotten very clever with the way that they're linking my interests, for example,
Facebook has similar terms in their terms of service.
And we've all agreed to it in the end.
Yes.
So perhaps people might be asking now, well, if we've agreed to these terms and conditions, can we really do anything about it? And are we seeing a backlash from consumers?
There's definitely a backlash, and one of the thoughts about this is really more an indication of how people trust or mistrust or distrust Facebook. If you're concerned about it as a user, the best thing to do is to actually modify your privacy settings. In Instagram, you can hide your stream from public view and only allow people who follow you to see it, and that's one way of moderating the extent to which your information will be associated with these ads.
As someone who knows the legal aspect of this, Paul, if, for example, and I'm looking into the future here, someone was to have a photo used by Instagram or by Facebook as part of an advertising campaign, for example, could they come to you with any real legal stance and say that I've been done wrong? It's all because they've agreed to the terms and conditions that voids it right there.
That basically puts an end to it, although Instagram came back and said that they will remove the permission to use your actual photos in conjunction with these ads. They can still use some other information. If they do use it, it depends on how they use it. If they're using it in violation of their terms, there could be cause for a complaint. But as you pointed out, when you use the service, you agree to these terms and conditions. This is your contract with the service. If you're not comfortable with it, then rather not use the service.
And I suppose perhaps as a final question to you, Paul, some of the advice that you could give those who use Instagram. I know I use it as well. Many of our reporters are using it, and many other people as well using Instagram. Don't think about it. Take the photo and put it up. Is there advice that we should start looking out for now? What could you suggest?
Sure, just pay attention to things like these terms and conditions and privacy policies. Just read through them. They are drafted in fairly plain language. And bear in mind that these services make money by making use of our information, by making use of our content to target ads.
We're the product, aren't we? We are the product.
Effectively, yes. And that's a trade-off. If you want the service for free, then this is the model that's developed.
All right, so no real concern, though. You shouldn't start panicking and closing down your accounts just yet.
It really depends on how concerned you are about your personal information and your activities being associated with these brands. Some people may have a concern for it because it may impact existing relationships and obligations that they have in terms of sponsorships and what have you, and those people should think carefully about it. Professional photographers, for example, may want to be maybe take more care about using the service given the licenses that they grant. But for the general user who's just taking snaps of friends, family, and that sort of thing, just check your privacy settings, make sure it's set to the level you're comfortable with, and it's not really a cause for panic, but just something to be aware of.
Perhaps what's the old advice? When in doubt, perhaps don't do it. Can someone go to, for example, a website that you have if they want more info on this? Is there somewhere you can direct viewers?
Sure. I've written some articles about this. My site is webtechlaw.com.
Webtechlaw.com. Yeah. All right, they can pick it up there. Sure. Paul, thank you very much. All the best for Christmas and New Year's as well. No doubt we'll be speaking to Paul again, potentially as the story develops in the near future. Web and digital media lawyer Paul Jacobson talking about the issue with Instagram and your photos